Good afternoon, students. I hope you all are able to hear me. I am audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, good afternoon. So, today is 12th of August 2020. We celebrate this day, 12th of August, as Librarians Day, National Librarians Day, remembering Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, father of library science in India. So, on this occasion, I plan to conduct a Margdarshan guidance program for all of you. And here, here we have Dr. Ravi Pandey, junior resident, AIMS New Delhi, to help us with our session. And he'll be guiding us, he'll be telling us his own success story, and as well as he'll be guiding all of us how to prepare for your medical entrance exam or any other competitive exam, what should be the discipline, and how to go about it. So I not time, and quickly I'll introduce you all with the our guest of the day, guest speaker of the day, Dr. Ravi Pandey. He's on your screen. Uh, very good afternoon, Dr. Pandey.
Good afternoon.
So the family of KV Dharmapuri, Kendriya Vidyalaya Dharmapuri, Chennai region, we welcome you to our program. Since we all know online classes are going on, so we are also conducting library sessions online. So I thank you so much for your time and efforts that you are making for our children, for our students. So I'll quickly hand over it to you for today's session. Thank you, sir. Please.
Oh, thank you. So, in start, I would like to know from our students why they want to prepare for medical exam or why they are choosing any career path in their life. So, any one of you would want to give answer to this, that why you are wanting to be something in your life.
So students, there's a question for you. Please answer.
To achieve my dream and to succeed in life.
Please be a bit
Okay.
loud. Yeah, sir.
So, firstly, we have to search our inner self, that why we want to be something. If we are becoming or trying to become something in the pressure of our parents or someone else, or in greed of money or power or anything like that, then definitely that is not going to push us very hardly towards our goal, because initial energy which we accumulate during planning and everything, that get vanished in course of time whenever we are not very motivated. So firstly, whenever we are planning to be something, we definitely have to ask ourselves, why do we want to be that, either a doctor or anything else. So firstly, our planning for anything in our life or career start with this. So after this, we have to plan for why we are going to do this and how we are going to do this. So that also is very important, that how we will be planning to achieve our goals, which we have uh, taken in our mind, like how we will be doing step by step, those all things. So uh, let me ask one more thing from you. Like, maybe most of you are just listening and not responding, but again I'm asking, if you have to take something by just stretching your hand and getting it, and if you have to do hard work to get that, then which path would you be choosing? Any answers? Definitely we find it easy to get anything which is near to us, or we don't have to make efforts to get that. So if we are planning to get something, and if we try to find easy alternatives for that, then definitely we are on our first step of failure there. So whenever you are planning to prepare for NEET or any other competitive examinations, definitely you have to think of the real path which would lead you to your desired goal. Like whenever people start to plan for their NEET exams or any other exam, they think that okay, like I'm giving example of NEET. Some of my relatives or friends, they were planning that okay, I'll take 2 to 3 years and I'll crack NEET and do whatever it would take. And in that course of time, I asked, why do you want to prepare for 2 to 3 years? Then they said, maybe I would be not able to crack it in 1 year. That is not a right path for to go forward, because whenever we are giving ourselves more leniency in a time period, like if we are thinking that okay, I'll do it in 2 years, so in our first year we will just spend our time thinking okay, I'll do it next year. So whenever we are planning to do something, we must do in a particular time frame. Like if it is August right now, then we will plan to get ourselves ready before April of next year for our next exam of NEET. So definitely we don't have to give ourselves a lot of time that okay, I'll do it sometime in future. Second thing which comes to mind of aspirants, like okay, if I won't be able to crack, then I'll take admission in some private college or somewhere else. That also is a very bad idea in the beginning, because if you get things and if you start to search for alternates, then you definitely stop hard working for that. So don't search for alternates that what you are going to do after you get failed. You have to believe that you can do this. Another query I received during one of my interactions with a NEET aspirant, that my physics is very poor. Numericals I am not able to solve during exam, so I may not be able to crack it. This is also not very good approach to learn, because if you see the in last year in 2019 examinations, people with as low as 520 something marks were getting government college, and total marks for NEET is 720. So around 200 marks, that is around 50 questions. So if you are afraid of any subject, like if you are afraid of physics or anything, if you leave entire subject blank, then also you will be getting admission. If you fulfill basic criteria, like getting 50% is basic criteria in individual subjects to enter into NEET. So fearing is not a solution. You have a lot of ways to do things. You have to plan, and if something is bothering you, like if you think that if you are weak in some sections, then you may definitely work hard and get through it. And if you also are not able to go through that, then you can leave for that for some time, and you can again come back to those topics in future. So how should we start studying? Like it is already August and half of August has been gone. So like more some months, like 4 months this year and again 4 to 5 months in next year. So there is enough time. If you start preparing from even now also, then you are going to get selected definitely. And not that you have to spend like 14 hours each day. Even with 7 to 8 hours per day would be enough if you are preparing well and with full concentration, because what we lack in most of our studies is concentration. When we start to do random things like talking, walking, and everything, then and we count that as a study time, but actually we are not studying in that time. So how we can start? So firstly, NCRT is basic for everything, because it guides us what it is to be uh, going to be getting in our exam. So firstly, uh, get your syllabus. Like one more approach which is not very helpful is we start to learn everything that comes our way. Like we start to read a lot of thick books. Okay, I have to acquire all the knowledge that I'm getting. That is not a good approach, because whenever you are reading everything, you don't have to do PhD. You just have to crack an exam. Same goes with UPSC. Same goes with any other exam. You just firstly know what is your syllabus, what you have to study. You don't have to do research in that subject, so you don't have to be knowledgeable in every aspect of that particular subject. So firstly, go through syllabus very carefully, know what you have to know, because mostly those students who do very hard work and also get failed because of this reason, because they are not very versed with their syllabus, because they don't know exactly what they want to learn. So after going through all the syllabus which you have been given through your exam, like in NEET or any other competitive exam, you just plan that before exam you have to at least revise your syllabus 3 times. So how you are going to do that? You have to plan. Like if you have 9 months, then in first 6 months you have to complete your syllabus entirely. In another 1 or 2 months you have to complete it again, and in next 1 month you have to complete it again, because whenever you are going through your syllabus for the first time you won't be able to remember everything, and whenever you just go through it again, then you think that okay, I don't remember this, I don't remember this, I don't remember that, and you may get frustrated that even after studying I didn't remember anything. So how we are going to get over it? Just be calm. Everyone forgets. So do a study what you can, and also, but completion of syllabus is paramount. You cannot ignore completion of syllabus. Like you should be planning that okay, I have to complete my syllabus of these chapters, these subjects in this much time, and in that time you have to complete. If you are lagging behind time, just move over the chapter and move over to the next chapter which you had planned already. And if you are getting less time, or if you are unable to cope with all the things that are going on, then just read fastly. Even if your accumulation of that subject would be even 50%, like if you are going through any subject and you acquire 50% knowledge of that, that is very good. In your next reading, definitely you will accumulate even 20 or 30% more than your previous reading, and also your revision would be good. So instead of just finishing once in a very detailed manner, I would prefer you to go very fastly through your syllabus and complete it at least 2 to 3 times before exam, because in that way you would be able to memorize all the details in final step. Like in your exam, you would be remembering all the details, because with heavy competition coming in all the examinations in these days, they are moving from some easy questions towards more detailed examples and other like things which where you have to memorize a lot of details. So in that way, you'll be able to complete your syllabus. Then comes how you are going to be dealing with your exam in last moments. Like if you are studying for first 6 months, 7 months, very very carefully, but in the last 2 months you stopped studying or have started giving less time, then your success rate, success chances of success would be decreased. So you have to plan that in your final days, like when exam is approaching, that time would be most important to you rather than focusing right now. So start preparing, but don't get frustrated. Like whatever time you would be giving, that would be coming to you later on, and you should feel comfortable in whatever you are doing. Like if you plan to study, okay, I'm going to study for 12 hours, but you are not able to take out 12 hours very comfortably in your life. So you would get frustrated, and this routine would be going for only 1 month or 2 months, then you get frustrated and leave studying, and again this cycle gets repeated. So start with how much time you are comfortable in. Like even 3 hours or 4 hours is very sufficient to start with. Even 2 hours is sufficient. Like if you start studying in each day, if you are able to spare 3 hours at least, then definitely with time you would get interested. With most of us, when generally when we start studying, we like it, we are interested in the subject, but what the problem is, we don't want to open the book, we don't want to go near the book. So that is the way we generally deal with this thing. But at least we should try to sit there, read at least 3 hours. 3 hours is not a big deal in a whole day. And then with time, it will keep improving automatically. And you would also get interested in the subject because you have already some of the knowledge from the previous study. And in the next phase, when exam gets near, generally we tend to think that what are the things we should be knowing. So basically, now any of the good coaching material, they are all providing very crisp material for you to study. They are not doing very lengthy and vast books where you have to go through a lot of things which are not needed in your exam. So get study material from any good coaching, and also test series is very important because whenever you are giving test series, then you are knowing exactly what position you are in. Like if you are giving test with your 10 friends or 100 friends, then you know exactly how you are doing among your friends. But if that competition gets increased, like you are giving the test among like 1,000 people or 10,000 people or lakhs more people, then you'll be exactly knowing how you are doing it in state level, national level, and accordingly you may be able to increase your efforts. And also another thing which helps is doing a lot of questions. Like if you go and study from the book that okay, example of what are the enzymes secreted from uh, a small intestine, for example. So you won't be able to learn a lot of details through just studying. If that question come to you in your multiple choice question, like when you are solving questions, and you get that what are the enzymes which are not secreted from the small intestine, and out of four answer only one is correct. And at that time, if you go through that, and even if you don't are not able to answer that, then after looking at answer, you will be knowing four things: three enzymes which are secreted by a small intestine, and one which is not secreted by a small intestine. So this way, you just through one question got to know four things. So definitely going through questions help a lot in doing every exam. Even you would have heard that this year, yes, many of people from even UPSC said that solving last year papers helped them a lot in cracking the exam. How this helps? It is not that every time same question comes. Some questions are repeated, but not every question is repeated. But at least you get to know how the question setters are thinking in their mind, what they want you to know. And in this way you will be able to do preparing. And in the final exam time, what should you be doing is like just go through the question paper and solve all the paper and questions which you know 100% correctly. Like don't just start okay, one two three I know, fourth I don't know, so I have to do it right now. No, this would be a wrong way to deal with, and also you may be leaving a lot of questions which you know in the last time if you are not able to do basic planning of your paper solving. So what you have to do is just go through the paper, answer all the questions which you already know very correctly. Like you are knowing out of 100 questions, for example, you know like 40 questions only. So just do those 40 questions only in the first time. Because at that time, don't focus on the things which you don't know or on the things which are confusing to you. So in initial solving phase, just do only those things which you are 100% sure of, and mark those questions where you are doubtful, like with a small dots. Generally, in those questions where we are confused, we are able to rule out two options. We are only confused in two options. In the questions, you should be making some guesses very carefully because there is also a negative marking of 4 ratio 1. So if you are making any answer wrong, then you would be deducted for 1 marks. So it would be better to you attempt only those questions in which at least you are sure that only two options could be possible, two are ruled out completely. And in that way, you would be able to solve few more questions. You would also make few mistakes, but you would be overall gaining some marks if you are doing it with good planning and in a better way. And never attempt random answers like okay, I don't know anything about this, but since I have to do this, I will mark any question. That would be a poor approach. So firstly, in your practices, try to solve only those questions which you are knowing 100%, and those questions where you are at least able to rule out two options, and you have to choose between only any of them. And in this way we can be dealing with all the planning and stress of the exam So anything extra, if you want to know, you can ask me.
So students, if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask. Then he'll continue further. I'll quickly summarize whatever Dr. Ravi has said till now. So don't look for the alternatives before starting your preparation. That अगर ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा कर लेंगे, ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो ऐसा कर लेंगे. उसके बाद you should have time management very uh, effectively. Your planning must be done before you start, and you should collect the study materials. Then after you prepare, you should go through the test series, your previous year question papers, and you should be habitual of asking questions and questions out of the question. Again, questioning, repetitive questioning will make you perfect. So now, if anyone has question, please ask. Anyone, student,
Good afternoon, sir.
uh, yes, good afternoon. Please speak.
I'm parent. Yes, ma'am. I'm E. Aditya's mom speaking, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Class 12. As of means they want to prepare, but there are lots of doubts in that. How would be the question would be? It will be regular, simple questions from books, or it will be twisted, or like that. They have a lot of doubt in the question format itself, sir.
Okay, so there should be no doubt regarding this, because if you are studying good, then you would be able to solve almost 80% question without any special efforts. Like you don't have to go through anything special, just read your books. Okay, but one more thing which you have to focus on, just don't accumulate everything in the market. Like a lot of thick books are there for each and every subject. You don't have to read that. Just know what is necessary to you. In that way only you would be able to get crisp knowledge of what is going to come in your exam. And also regarding that, how questions would be coming in exam, that is not a big issue. If you are studying, then you would be able to solve all the questions coming. And I just in during our first discussion, we discussed that out of 720, even those who got 520 last year were able to get government shade. So if you are not able to go through few questions, don't get disheartened or stop there. Okay, I'm not able to do this. You have a average gap of like 100 150 marks, where you would be getting a benefit even if you are missing some questions. So going and doing all the questions and studying is the only way.
Just to add, the previous year question papers will definitely help in this. Like if students
Yes.
are not able to understand from the books what questions are going to come in the exam, means what type of questions are going to come. So it is it is good to see the previous year papers, right? So previous year papers will give you an idea how they are going to ask the questions, right? I hope this answers your query, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from students or parents?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
my name is Anand.
Yes,
Sir, is
Anand.
it really necessary to go to big institute to crack NEET?
Not in my view. Big institutes provide two good things. A good competition, like you would be seeing a lot of people who are doing better than you, and you would be motivated to do better. And environment they provide. Also in test series, they have more number of people. So it is not necessary that big institutes would be helping you very surely, but definitely they have an edge whenever you are preparing, because you get to know exactly what is going on in the direction which you are planning and doing efforts. Because with a small institution, or those who are, and also big institution has finances to get things on record, like they are making their materials very crisp. They are removing all the things which are not necessary or which has not been asked in previous many years. So they exactly are knowing and doing their efforts to get you there, and only through that they are getting also good results. So it is not necessary that they are very helpful or they would be only way from which you would be cracking your exam. But yes, I feel they are helpful in your ways sometimes.
So basically, if you don't want to work so much hard, you can go to the institute, right? Because institute will not help you 101%, but yes, definitely they are helpful because they bring the only selected material to study. And but if you do some hard work at your own, like analyzing the previous year question papers, analyzing the syllabus very carefully, you will be able to do it at your own. There are so many examples who have cracked the NEET or the UPSC exams without going to any institute or classes. So if you are going to coaching, it will give you a an idea in advance. But if you want to prepare it at your own, you can prepare it. There's no challenge. There's nothing
Okay,
impossible in that.
and one another way in which big institutes help, they give you competition. Like if you are preparing on your own, you don't know exactly what you are doing. You don't know actually what where you are going wrong. So in a big institution or anywhere like that, you generally you able to compare yourself with others. Like what is your position,
Right.
where you are going wrong. So in this way, you would be correcting yourself in the time which is available to you. If you are not getting any competition, or if you are comparing yourself with your only 10 friends which are near you, then you may be best in them and you may be thinking that okay, I am best in every best from everyone else, but in reality you may be way low in cracking your exam.
So there is one more question. Can we collect the study materials from any of these institute and use them for the study as study
Y-
material? That would be better,
yes,
right?
yes, even with Corona lockdown, generally institutions have closed and no offline classes are going on, like no regular classes are going. So everyone is going online. So you may definitely get second hand or any other institution materials. And if possible, in the last moment, like prepare for yourself with those materials. And in last 2 to 3 months, you should at least do test series of any institute, not saying that particular anyone, just any good institute where you are giving exam with at least 1,000 people. Then only you would be able to assess yourself. Okay, where I am, and it is not necessary from right now. For right now, you can study from yourself. In last moment, in like last 2 to 3 months, you can go for this test series.
Right. Any other questions, students?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please ask.
Sir, for NEET or JEE preparations, from which class we have to start the preparations and from which class we have to join in these academies, etc.
I think 11th is good because before that, if you go get a lot of pressure, then you would miss a lot of other things in life. And for my personal opinion, I think learning everything is very much necessary because if even if you become a good doctor, good engineer, and if you are not able to handle society and other things in your life, then you would be failure as a person. So, in my opinion, only after 11th, only after coming in 11th, you should take pressure of these exams and everything.
So from class 11th, you should start preparing for these exams. Any other question? Okay, sir. Till the time students ask any other question, I have a question for you. What were the challenges for you while you were preparing for the exam, for these competitions?
These challenges were very common and it happens with everyone. Like generally we plan, like I am going to study this much hours. You do that for 2 to 3 days and then your energy would be dropped. You would think that, okay, I'll do it tomorrow or maybe I'll catch up again. And
Right.
these things come. So basically challenges from your own is the biggest challenge in way of studies. You have to have control over your habits, your desires. Like going through mobile, going out with friends, everything we want in our life. And these things are not bad actually. You can do everything, but it should be in a planned manner. Like if you want to do chatting, a lot of movies or anything, just plan. If you are planning, then okay, I'll study 6 hours per day and I'll watch 3 hours movie per day. That is okay, but at least complete your 6 hour study daily.
Right.
So do whatever you want, but give a time to everything. Whenever we are not particularly assigning a time to our other habits, then what happens? Even during our study time, even during everything, our mobile is in our hands and we do a lot of things and a lot of time is passed and we even don't know that, okay, this is going on. Luckily, during our time, mobile was not so much smart as today's. So on those days, we didn't have distraction of this, but generally what was challenge more to me, I was living away from parents, preparing for my exam. So food was not a big issue because I was taking food outside. So this thing was the only like I was not able to control my planning, and sometimes I get frustrated. With in future, with time, I learned that getting frustrated is not a good thing. Like if you are failing on your plannings, like after doing planning 3 times or 4 times, we generally get frustrated. Okay, this thing is not going to be done by me. I'm not able to control my emotions, or I'm not able to stick to my planning. So I just leave how it is going. So this is also a bad thing. Just keep trying. Every time your plan fails, again start tomorrow, because these challenges are even faced by everyone, even today in our professional lives. If you stop and get frustrated with yourself, then you are probably on your highest point where you are on top, and now you won't be able to reach anything more. So don't get frustrated. Be as cheerful with yourself as you are with others. Like if someone is making a small mistake and you think, okay, just let it go, then you can also do with yourself. Today, if time got wasted, I'll again study from tomorrow. But don't get frustrated. Okay, I planned so hard. I always plan and get failed. This should not happen. Keep
Right.
trying.
Right. So discipline is very must. Discipline is must. Discipline should be there. We should be disciplined. That we have. If I want to study for 8 hours or 6 hours or only 4 hours, I will study for 4 hours. I'll do nothing else. So discipline is must for that. So students,
And for
yes sir.
those who are not able to concentrate for longer hours, even 3 hours starting is very good, because 3 hours is nothing. You can just separate it in 1.5 hours too. Like in morning you would be studying for 1 to 2 hours, in evening you study for 1 to 2 hours, whole day visit you. And in those 3 concentrated hours, you should be able to complete as many chapters as possible, because NCRT books are not very big. You can even complete like one chapter in 1.5 hours. Go through it fastly. Don't think that, okay, I'm not able to remember what I read just now. Just let it go. Just you read with focus that I have to complete this chapter on time. In second revision or in future revisions, you would be able to grasp even more than what you did earlier.
Right. So revision is always a key of the success. We don't have to be bothered about that I'm not able to remember it or keep it in my mind for a longer time. So revision is always a key for the success. Sir, there is a question for you. Is there any difference between the syllabus of NEET and AIMS exam?
Probably now AIMS has been merged with NEET, I think, or either NEET PG has been merged with AIMS, or NEET and AIMS UG. I don't remember, but probably they have been merged now. So from next academic session, there would be only a single exam for these two. And in AIMS exam earlier, one difference was like they used to ask some clever questions where their questions were not very direct. They would ask you indirectly, and you have to firstly understand the question carefully. And this also helps in even NEET exam. Read questions very carefully, because sometimes they give which of these are not anything. Then you would just simply miss not, and you would go to any answer and take that and do that, and that answer would be wrong. So always read questions carefully, and a good habit would be that during solving exams, even during practice, just marks key points in the question, like with pencil or pen, whatever you are holding for practice. in questions, mark key points like what question want to know from you, then proceed to answer. That way, you would be making very less mistakes.
Right, right. So, sir, there is a question from the student. Who was your inspiration for your journey?
Okay, initially I was very inspired by Swami Vivekanand because I even today I don't know what I want to do with my life. Just going through all the steps, but I don't have any clear picture that even after becoming a doctor or anything, what I want to do. Like this is not life. Even after earning lakhs of rupees per month, I don't think this is what I wanted. I wanted something which could satisfy my heart, and I don't think doing service is even satisfactory thing. Like
Satisfied.
some people say, okay, I want to serve people, I want to serve. Even that is also how that is going to satisfy me. I don't know. I generally don't know purpose of life. So basically, this is a question I am going through right now. Even
One of you is asking which time is best for study? Morning, afternoon, or evening, or night?
you can choose any time when you are comfortable. Generally, in morning times, our mind is very calm. When we wake up, our mind is calm. We don't want to think of anything irrelevant. We don't want to do any type of irrelevant things, or any other emotions are generally subside. So morning time is good, but you can study at any time which is comfortable to you, because sometime it happens, and even it happened to me. Generally, we hear from our seniors or from others that okay, morning time is good time to study, but getting up in morning and studying is a big challenge for us, and in that we generally ignore the timings of evening or afternoon in which we could have studied. So basically we start to struggle for the timing instead of our studies. So in if you ask in what time you would be able to get most of out of your hard work, then okay, morning time is good, but don't take it as a challenge and start to struggle only to get in up in morning and do that. Whatever time you are getting up, that would be good.
Right. Everyone has his or own comfortable time zone. So you can start study. You can study in any time in which you are very comfortable. So there's one more question from the students. How can we keep a balance between our board and NEET preparation? NEET JEE preparation for in class 11th and 12th. So she mean that when she is preparing for class 11th and 12th, so she also have to appear for the board exam, and how she would be able to keep the balance in between both NEET and board exams
Solving
preparation.
previous year boards paper 2 would be very much helpful, because generally with NEET preparations we are more inclined towards solving MCQs and we forget to write theoretical answers. So point wise answer making, always in either in NEET or in boards, always try to understand what question wants to know from you, because generally many times we write irrelevant things or the things which are not being asked by the question. So practice questions even during your regular preparation of NEET. Like whenever you are finishing a chapter for NEET, do questions in view of NEET like MCQs. Then also along with that, do questions for your boards, all previous year questions from which were asked earlier in board exams, or questions which are in back of NCRT. That would be sufficient. And only thing important in that would be to know exactly what to write. Also get to know in how many words you have to write answers. Like when you have a picture of this is 2 marks question, then in 2 marks question how many words you have to write, what are the information that has been asked. If a lot of information has been asked in a single question of a small amount, like say for 5 numbers they have asked a question where you have a lot of information, then instead of writing paragraphs, make it in notes. It also helps teacher in knowing that okay, this student knows a lot of answers, and also it is done in less number amount of time compared to very descriptive theoretical answer.
Right. Means and more or less the course, the syllabus of NEET and board exams of 11, 12 science subjects
Okay, so
are
we are
mostly similar, right?
studying, yes, we are studying same subject, same things. Only thing which lacks in board exam when we are preparing for our NEET is our answer writing habits. If we
Right.
are not writing answers, then during question, when question comes to us in board exam, generally we know exact point what they have asked. We generally write in 1 or 2 line the answer. Then that way we won't be getting marks. So better keep practicing for writing answers of board even during your regular NEET exams, along with same chapters. Like you don't have to study separately for your board. Whatever chapter you are finishing for NEET, just write answers for that through board point of view.
Right. So, there's another question, very interesting. Is there anything to sacrifice for our studies, like playing or other entertainment?
No, no. I would never recommend, because being happy is key for everything. If you are not happy, then you won't succeed. I am 100% sure about it. Because if you are not happy, you won't be focusing on your study. Like sometimes we just stop playing or we stop talking to others. Then our mind gets distracted a lot. Even during your study times, you won't be able to fully concentrate because you are not internally happy. So planning and allotting times is more important than stopping anything. Do whatever you like, do whatever your mind tells you, but allocate a time for that. Don't do it randomly all the time.
So, although being a KVN, we don't recommend students for the coaching, but still there's one student asking which coaching institute will be is better for JE preparation according to you.
I won't recommend any names, but search for any coaching. For NEET preparation, you can do it yourself. But for test series, search any institution which has a large number of student base, because through that you would be able to assess your knowledge and you would know what the competition is. Like some big coachings, even their test series is given by 4 to 5 lakhs of the students. Like in real exam, also you would be getting 10 to 12 lakhs. Half of them are already giving exams for the coaching. So you generally know from the start that what is you are standing in all that crowd.
Okay. Uh, One of the students is asking, sir, will you recommend mobile learning app like Byju's and Vedantu?
Yes, it completely depends on your abilities. Like whenever we are learning from mobile, a message notification comes, and we stop to see message, and half an hour it goes to chatting and all that things. So if you are studying with mobile, if you can keep focusing on your study, that would be no any big difference than your books. But generally, mobile distracts to other things which are available there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, one more question from me. So, now, how do you feel like 6 years before, 7, 8 years before as a student? And what difference do you feel now working in AIMS, New Delhi? So, what difference do you feel in yourself?
Generally, first thing after first year in college, you would learn that okay, now you have a standing in this world. Like before that, you are just going everywhere, like you are dependent on parents for everything. You would be looking at everyone without any information of your own. But after you get some position, you start to feel that okay, I am also the person who is existing in this world, and my opinion also matters. And with that confidence, you start to just go through your journey and achieve a lot of new heights. Because I was not only a normal student in my university, Delhi University, from which I did my MBBS. I was also president there, and also held a lot of positions of Indian Medical Association and Federation of Resident Doctor Association, FODA. So basically, I was always of the view that everyone should get involved in everything. Just allocate time for everything, that you don't miss anything special.
One of the students is asking, in everyone's life, there might be a teacher who has played a vital role to pull them up to a greater level. Who had been the one teacher in your life who always encouraged you?
I won't say during my school days, like when I was preparing, because I was generally cut off from a lot of world. But after coming to college, a lot of people I found who are very, very helpful. Like one Dr. Ashish Goel, he is professor in medicine. He had also experience of teaching in foreign universities. So he had been very inspiring to me. I always like people who generally keep view of overall life in their mind before being a doctor or any other professional. They exactly know what they have to get in this life or what they want from their life.
So it depends. Everyone gets his her inspiration and source of encouragement from during any point of the life, like during school or college, or during, maybe after you get become a successful man. Then still you need to continue. You need to continue your success. You will need your encouragement. You will need motivation.
Yes,
So
and
anytime in the
there is
life you may get one
no
motivation.
particular way or no particular time of getting inspiration. Like I
Right.
just remembered one story of Sankaracharya when he was just a normal priest in Varanasi. He was traveling. Then there was some Chandal who was lying on the road, and he said, "Dusht, move out of my way." Then that Chandal asked him, Prabhu, are you saying this to my body or my soul? This was the turning point for him, and he thought a lot about it. So there can't be any particular person that would be inspiring. Like even a person who you think is not able to give you any particular information or well guidance may be helpful to you when you are searching for it. So basically, what you get is what are you looking for. So if you are looking for some type of guidance, generally you will start to like those type of people. Like some people like few types of. There are a lot of types in which people handle life, and in that way, generally we tend to get attracted toward the people where our own personality matches.
Thank you, sir. So one more question. Which year did you finish your schooling and which year you entered into the medical?
I took 2 year break because when I finished my 12th, I was not even of 17 years. Like I missed the deadline by 13 days. My birthday on 13 January. So it is recommended that on 31st December of the year you are giving your NEET exam, you should be of minimum 17 years age. So I was not even that. So I had to drop that. And in next year I prepared, but that all the stories like okay, I got frustrated, I am not studying, and these all things happen. So in the next in that year I took coaching, but in next year when I was thinking okay, everything is enough, now I have to study, then in next year I started studying myself. So I took 2 year break after 12 before entering.
Right, right. So consistency of your target, your aim must be there. So you
Yes.
should not. So you were underage, so that's why you had to drop 1 year, and then 1 year took for another 1 year took for the preparation and all. So one more question is coming, very interesting. Whether you used to play a lot in your school days or you used to play in only game period.
I was under 16 state level cricket player.
So see,
Also, I have been now in my university, Delhi University. I was chess champion, and I have been doing a lot of like whatever I did, I like. That's what I said. Don't refrain yourself from doing anything. Do everything you like because joining career as a doctor, as a IAS is not only thing to achieve in life. You may go on to achieve anything which you want, but allocate time for everything. Because if you are not allocating or not planning, then you would mix it everything up and you won't go anywhere. So plan everything and do whatever you like.
right. So planning must be there, and whatever you are doing must be at your best. So you should give best of yourself in each and everything, whether you are playing, whether you are studying, or whether you are doing anything in your life, or any smallest thing in your life. You should be doing at your best, and you should give your best.
And following your desires are one of your things which you should be doing. Like I was also interested in writing poetry, so I have been writing poetry from my class fourth. During my 11th and 12th days, I did a lot of programs for Air India, and also my written songs had been sung at that time. Dr. Pratibha Patil was our president, so songs written by me were presented in front of her. A lot of things happened. So basically, I did everything I wanted, but planning was the key.
Right, planning was the main thing, and competition with yourself. So one of my teacher in my school days used to say, so if you want to improve yourself in any field, compete with yourself. See yourself every day and analyze what you are today, and you have to become best next day. So every day you should be competing with yourself and bringing out your own best. So another question is coming, sir, how to distract the distractions? So already answered, sir has already answered that you should have better planning and you should follow it rigorously. You should not be like, if you want to keep your time for playing or for chatting for anything or movie, you should be following each and everything very rigorously. So like for 4 hours for studies, so in 4 hours you'll only study. 2 hours for movie, so you will only watch movie in 2 hours. So discipline is the key. Discipline is very important for that. Think, uh, so one more question from the student that while preparing for these competition exams, most of the students get stressed. So how to uh, come out of that?
Playing sports or doing physical activities is a great way of relieving from all the stresses, because it not only helps you to go out and meet people, but also doing physical activity releases endorphins which help in elevating your mood. So doing and playing is not only recommend just left to your choices, but it should be recommended that you at least spend 1 to 2 hours daily for playing or doing exercises.
Right. Thank you, sir.
And
So. Uh, So students, we are left with 5 minutes more, and if you have any question, just post it or turn on your mic and speak it out. We'll take one or two more questions, and then we'll call it a day. Anyone has any other question?
okay, one question is from Tarun Karthik.
Huh.
Sir, what was your childhood aim? Everyone has a particular dream. What was that for you? Okay, in ninth class, I decided that I wanted to be a doctor. How this started, I am telling you a story. In ninth class, generally, I thought that okay, this is a time. Generally, with ninth, you start to prepare or get a lot of things which are new to you. So in that class, I thought that okay, what I want to be in my life. I was topper there, so I thought okay, I can be anything I want. So what is the thing I want? I thought of a lot of options at that time. Like I was so confident that I could be anything I want. So I have to make a choice what I want to be. And at that time only, I realized that I don't know what I want to be and what is the benefit of being anything. And at that time only, I realized that okay, so I don't have any other option to achieve and do anything. So maybe I would go with service of people in our world, and that's how I choose to be a doctor. And at that time only in ninth class I decided okay, I want to be a doctor.
Right. So, sir, another question is how to make effective notes and how to tackle failure in your exam aims.
uh, Effective notes taking can only be done when you have already studied a subject. Like whenever you go through a topic, just don't start making notes in initial phase itself. Go through everything you are reading in first part. Like I said, if you have 9 months, then in 6 months you have to complete your syllabus at least once. After that finishing syllabus, you will start to make notes. In that way, you already would be knowing what are the things there, what type of questions are coming in exam, and in that way you would be exactly knowing what are needed for you, and that are the things which you would be making note of, and that way you those notes would be helpful during your exam. So at least read whole syllabus one time before starting to make note. So note making should be done in your second reading.
Right. How to take how to take failures in your aim?
We fail a lot of times. Everyone fail. Those who are saying that I don't fail are lying, of course. So maybe we are running out of time. So I am available to chat on WhatsApp whenever you like and whatever your uh, questions are. Even in future or during your whole career, or even when I get old, I would be available to chat and help whenever needed. So you can just take my number and WhatsApp me.
One more interesting question from one of our brightest students. After 12th, when we go to college, how we have to decide which course to take up if we are equally interested in mostly all the subjects.
Do everything. If you are interested in everything, then do everything.
So there's no restrictions. You can start with studying one subject and then you can continue doing another subject. You can do your graduation and masters 10 times in different subjects.
No,
No,
and if you are interested in the subject, then you don't have to go formally in it. Like when I was in MBBS, but I liked astrophysics so much that I read this thick books of Einstein and all those legends who wrote, even during my MBBS times when I didn't needed it. So for to satisfy your questions or to fulfill your desires, you can do anything you want.
one of the students is asking, what was your score in class 12? So my dear student, class 12 scores, you only, I personally feel you only have to score that much, which makes you eligible for any exam, any competition exam. Being eligible for any competition exam is sufficient. Your score will never matter if you are not able to crack your competition exam and if you have scored in 95% or 100% even in class 12. So only ask relevant questions. Okay. Students are now asking for your WhatsApp number, sir.
Okay, my WhatsApp number is 9999, means 4 times 9,
Yes.
2929 double three, 9999 2929 but make sure to only send messages and also introduce yourself, like where we met, because I get a lot of random messages and I don't know who I'm talking to.
So students, so kind of Dr. Ravi Pandey, he has given you his personal mobile number. Whenever you have any query, you can send him SMS or WhatsApp message, but don't disturb him so much and don't every day try to send him messages or calls. So even I told sir that not to give WhatsApp number, just give your email ID. But sir said it's okay. If students want to ask anything, they can ask me directly. So kind of you, sir, and uh, I'm so thankful for you to you that you have made so much of efforts. You came and joined our session with our students, and your guidance will definitely going to help them. And uh,
And I'm also thinking that you are making a lot of efforts to reach to students and make their life something better. So really, I should be thankful to you that you are making a lot of efforts. Like I had joined for a few minutes your previous lecture. It was of history probably.
right.
So your efforts should always be recognized. I don't know how you are doing all these things on your own or through what channel you are doing. I don't know. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You are so kind, and I really appreciate your help and your support. And we'll definitely get in touch with you again whenever we need it. And thank you, students. So please say thanks to sir, and we can now call it a day. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, students, you may now leave the session.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.